Ready? Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call the reorganization meeting of January 4th, 2023 to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Councilmember Brescher.
Here.
Councilmember Coyle?
Here.
Councilmember Harris?
Here.
Councilmember Patel?
Here.
Councilmember Patil?
Here.
Councilmember Pointer?
Present.
Council President, Councilmembership Freeman.
Here.
Adequate notice of this meeting, as required by the Open Public Meeting Act of 1975, has been provided by special notice sent to the Home News Tribune, Star Ledger, Sentinel, and Desi Talk on December 1st, 2022, and posted in Main Lobby Municipal Complex on that same date. Now I'd like to open up nominations for Council President.
I would like to nominate Councilman John Pointer to be Edison Township President. Council President.
Is there a second?
I enthusiastically second that nomination.
Are there any other nominations? Call the roll, please.
Councilmember Brescher.
Can I ask a question? Do I ask that to the clerk?
I'll be happy to answer
yeah.
your question,
Okay.
Councilman, if I can.
Okay. My question actually is through, I guess, our chair, I'll call, to Councilman Pointer. My question is that I am asking that you review our agenda to make sure that all of the information is there. I mean, I do know you have looked, and there were items that we didn't have when we've discussed them. But I also want to let you know that you do own the agenda. So what you put out is something that you own. And we had like the item about that was moving forward, the closing of the Clara Barton Library the other night. I would hope that, you would have all the information on something like that before you would ever send something out to the council, and never mind to the rest of the residents to be put on the agenda. So I'm asking you if you give me your word that you will go through that agenda and get all the information for us.
He doesn't have to answer that.
He does not have
This is
to
not
answer that.
This is not
So
a debate.
there's
Vote or
there's
don't vote, Rich.
There's been a mover and a seconder. There's been a question posed. As of right now, there is no council president until the council president's nomination is voted on and either approved or denied. There's no further discussion on the issue. The only issue before you right now is whether or not the motion and second for Councilman Pointer to be the council president will be approved or denied. Call the roll, please.
Councilmember Brescher.
Because of the silence, I vote no.
Councilmember Coyle.
Enthusiastically, yes.
Councilmember Harris.
Double enthusiastically, yes.
Councilmember Patel.
Yes.
Councilmember Patil.
Yes.
Councilmember Pointer.
Yes.
Councilmembership Freeman.
Because I've been lied to and kept in the dark mostly all this whole year, I would have to go with a no.
Okay.
The motion and appointment of Councilman Pointer as council president has been approved by a vote of 5-2. Congratulations. Can we move the chairs around a little bit?
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congrats.
Do the oath of office.
Yep.
Oh, no, actually, go right next to the lawyer.
But if he's not going to answer it because the masters are telling him no, then I'm not going to support someone who lead us. Joe, you can't do that.
You got the old flame?
Let's go. I'm just saying,
Does she have the oath and the Bible? Tell her to come on.
it's just a simple question. It's a simple answer. simple question, simple answer.
I want to say that.
You can take me with you.
I'm only going fishing. I'm only going fishing to catch fish, Rich.
Then I'll take you with
One.
I want to come up with some great analogies for me. I got
All right, so now you can repeat after me. I, John Pointer,
I, John Pointer,
do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States
do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
that I will bear truth, faith, and allegiance to the same
that I will bear truth, faith, and allegiance to the same,
and to the governments established in the United States
and to the governments established in the United States
and in this state
and in this state,
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
and I will faithfully,
and I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly perform all the duties of Council President to the Township of Edison to the best of my ability. So help me God.
I'm gonna need a little assistance on that last name.
Break it down.
Perform all the duties
Perform all the duties
of Council President
of Council President
for the Township of Edison
for the Township of Edison
according to the best of my abilities.
according to the best of my abilities,
So help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. First, I want to wish you all here, or watching at home, or watching later at a later time, a happy and healthy new year. Thank you to my council colleagues for your confidence in me leading this council for 2023. It is an honor. I'd like to express my gratitude to Mayor Joshi, the administration, department leaders, and employees for your assistance and guidance over the past year with the numerous inquiries I've sent. The insight and action provided has been invaluable, and I look forward to working with everyone this year. And of course, to my wife, Brooke, who's at home right now with our 2 children, if it were not for your support, I would not be here today able to serve the public in this capacity. Thank you, I love you and the girls. Even with the tremendous strides and achievements of 2022, we know plenty of work still lay ahead. As we finalize our master plan, we need to ensure we take the necessary measures in adjusting our laws to reflect the desired goals and objectives. This includes additional guidelines on uses such as warehouses, billboards, storage facilities, and duplexes. We must act to protect our environment, reviewing items such as net zero initiatives, green purchasing practices, deterrence and enforcement against clear cutting, and updating tree replacement guidelines. We must continue to develop plans of action and make the required investments necessary to upgrade our aged infrastructure. We must keep making the technological advances necessary to maintain excellent services for the taxpayers of Edison. And we must continue implementing projects and programs that improve the quality of life for residents, including providing economic opportunity and promoting physical and psychological well-being. These are but a few examples. Additionally, I look forward to collaborating with my colleagues on numerous initiatives they've brought forth both in the past and going forward. Finally, I request residents remain engaged in local politics and continue to provide your feedback and suggestions on township items. In closing, thank you again for the privilege to serve as your council president and the faith and trust placed in me. I am cognizant of the opportunity before me and will work tirelessly in service to our community. Thank you. At this time, I'd like to open up nominations for the position of Council Vice President.
Council President,
Councilman Toyle.
it's my distinct honor to nominate Councilwoman Harris for Vice President.
Is there a second?
I would love to second.
Are there any other nominations for the position of Vice President? Hearing none, can I get a roll call?
Councilmember Brescher.
Yes.
Councilmember Coyle.
Yes.
Councilmember Harris.
Yes.
Councilmember Patel. Councilmember Patil.
Yes.
Councilmember Ship Freeman.
Well, the truth of the matter is, I can't really endorse an absentee council person that can't even show up to the Veterans Day or Memorial Day or stuff that goes on within the community, so it'll be a no.
Council President Pointer.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Repeat after me. I, Margot Harris,
I, Margot Harris,
do solemnly swear
solemnly swear
I will support the Constitution of the United States
I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
that I will bear truth, faith, and allegiance
and I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the same
to the same
and to the governments established
and to the governments established
in the United States
in the United States
and in this state
and in this state
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
and I will faithfully,
and I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly perform
and justly perform
all the duties of Council Vice President
all the duties of Council Vice President
for the Township of Edison
for the Township of Edison
according to the best of my ability, so help me God.
according to the best of my ability, so help me God. Thank you so much. Good evening, everybody here at home, and as John said, who might be watching this later on. I am honored to have been selected as your vice president this year, and I'm very mindful of the fact that we who sit in these council chairs, we don't own these council chairs. We don't own these council seats. I don't own the vice presidency, and Council President Pointer doesn't own the presidency. We are here at your behest, and you are letting us borrow these chairs for as long as you'll have us. So we are mindful, we are humbled and grateful for that. I so look forward to a partnership with, first of all, with Council President Pointer, with whom I share an excellent relationship. And I think we will complement each other in areas where he has strength and areas where I have strengths. And I think that those are going to meld together very, very well. I also, I'm excited to work with my fellow council members once again. I'm grateful for your support. And, Councilwoman Ship Freeman, I am sorry I disappointed you with regard to Veterans Day. I had surgery that day. And so,
I'm not talking about Veterans Day, I'm talking about I'm not
Well,
talking
you-
Memorial Day
Point
and
of
all
order.
that kind of stuff.
Point
I'm just
of
not talking
order.
about one day. All
yes.
right, so let's
And-
don't
and-
engage.
Yes. So I hope, though, in the process, that I can, even though I did not get your vote, I'm hoping I can gain your trust and your confidence, and we'll see how that works out. I know you'll let me know if I have failed to achieve that. We have done so much over this past year. We have, I use the phrase that we worked at warp speed to get so much of the mayor's agenda passed. And there are so many wonderful things happening in this town, and we are looking forward to another active year on this council to work for you. Again, we are working for you, the people of this town. So it is with great anticipation that we begin this term and we begin this year. And we look forward to the input of all council members. We would like to be able to have an excellent working relationship, and we welcome all feedback from council members, and we do want to hear from you and work with you as a partnership. And certainly you, the public, most importantly, we want to hear from you, the public. And I thank you again for this great honor. Thank you.
Council President?
Yes, Councilman Coyle?
I just wanted to comment. First, I'm truly happy we have a new council president, and I wish you the best of luck. I certainly believe you'll be very thorough in the work you do, representing the Township of Edison. It's obvious in your emails themselves. They're detailed and caring, and your concerns are always for the public, and I wish you the best. To my council colleague, who is now council vice president, Councilman Harris, I do wish you the best of luck, and I do understand, I've worked with you side by side. I know your intentions are real and to serve the community and do your best. And as for being challenged with your job during the day to not be at events during 9 to 5, I think the job you have during the day, the career you picked is a critical role serving the community to help so many people. And I think what you do is great. And it's an important role to the community what you do. It shows your care and your popularity by the appointments you have. And I know the times you're able to be here, you're here. But for those who have seen other council members here before, Councilmember Sarah was a school teacher, Councilmember Deal was a school teacher, very challenging during the day to leave those jobs. So I commend you for the work you do, and I look forward to working with you side by side and all my council members here in the council. Thank you.
Councilman Coyle?
Council President?
Yes, sir.
I'd just like to say that, I do have hopes that you're going to look through the question that I asked you. I was disappointed that you didn't answer, but that it seemed like you needed someone else to cover for your answer. And knowing you for this length of time, I found that unusual. But that was my biggest issue. And to our council vice president, I wish you luck this year. I don't necessarily agree with you that we accomplished things last year. I kept quiet because it was a year, it was a new administration. But what I seen was we built a community garden. We should have had that field under construction as of now. That should have been designed, okay? The Board of Ed was able to do it. The administration here should have been able to do it. We talked about all the roads we are paving, yet we can't get a list of any roads that have to be paved, right? I talked about the engineer, whether he was going to work something out with paving the other half of the streets. Still no response that we got. So, I mean, I guess your bar is here and mine is middle of the road. But come this year, I do want to hold the administration accountable that when they tell us they're doing something, or the mayor tells us that he's doing something, right, that we, as a council, we make sure that it's being done efficiently. And I hope we can all do that together this year. So good luck to the new president and vice president. Thank you.
Council President? Yes.
Yes.
Councilman Brescher, I appreciated very much your support. And in terms of whose bar is where, I think suffice to say that we just, our bars are different, but I don't think that means that one is lower and one is higher. So we have different bars. We can agree to disagree, and I'm fine with that. But I want to, again, thank you for your support. Thank you.
Council President.
Yes, Councilman Patil.
First of all, congratulations. I'm confident that you will lead this council successfully in 2023. We have numerous projects in pipeline. A lot planning was done last year, but we have the real work to be delivered this year, and we're looking forward for your leadership and working cordially with the entire council. And again, congratulations to you. And I'm very happy that we have councilwoman as the vice president. So we continued that tradition. Congratulations. I'm pretty sure, this council really worked, I would say, 99% together last year. And hopefully, we'll continue to have that progress this year. Now, the responsibility lies on your shoulder, both of you. We look at from a very different perspective, being on the council for last 7 years, and you have different eyes and ears, different perspective. Glad to see that the new young leadership leading this council, and good luck. And I'm very positive and hopeful that we'll achieve a lot. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Council President,
Yes, Councilman Patel.
I just want to say both of you good luck, and your success is our success, and I think we will work great as a team. You both have great perspectives that I really respect, and I look forward to you bringing that to the public.
Thank you. Any other comments? If I can just make a point of clarification, the reason why I did not make a statement before is because according to Robert's Rules of Order, if there's a motion and a second, then the action for the vote must happen then. So I did not find it appropriate at that point to make any additional statements. However, I will do my best to provide the due diligence to all of the council members here so that they have the information required to make the decisions that they find in their best judgment for the township. Thank you. At this time, I'd like to open up to the public for comments on the resolutions only. Sir? This is on the, just out of courtesy, this is at, Mr. Sweeney, out of courtesy, this is on the resolutions only, just to stick with the procedure of the meeting. Thank you. Seeing no, Mr. Bassoff.
I do have a question about 007, the temporary appropriations.
Yes.
Are those quarterly figures or are those annualized?
My understanding is that they are quarterly. We have to do a temporary because we don't have an official budget passed for this year. My understanding based on the review is that compared to last year's temporary budget, this is actually a decrease in the amount that is being allocated. I don't know if our business administrator would like to elaborate.
So the temporary budget is a 26.25% of what our budget was the prior year, so it's a percentage.
Right. What caught my attention was that it showed for the business administrator a salary of, I think it was $300,000. So I was just wondering if that's an annualized figure or if that's the quarterly figure. I know that our business administrator works very hard and diligently, but $300,000 per quarter just seemed like a lot.
Just to clarify that, that is not my salary, and that is for approximately five to six people in my office.
That explains it then.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much.
Anyone else from the public that would like to comment on the resolutions only? Seeing none, can I get a motion to close the public portion?
Motion to close the public portion.
Seconded.
First by Councilman Coyle, second by Councilman Patil. To the proposed resolutions, do I have any questions or comments from the council?
Council President,
Yes, sir.
could I speak now or could I speak when you pull it, when I ask for it to be pulled?
If you have a question, I would invite you to ask that question now so we can try to get clarification on it. If you would like to make a statement and intend on polling, then do so. I would request you do so when you pull it.
Okay, the question would be to the attorney.
Yes, to the attorney.
I've been asking for a copy of bills. I'm going to ask you for a date as to when I can get a copy of your bills.
Councilman, our bills are submitted through the administration for payment through finance. They then become a matter of public record, and they are available through an Oprah request at any time once they are approved.
Okay, I'll comment after we pull it. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you, sir. Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, are there any resolutions that any members of the council that would like to pull for a separate vote? Starting from our right, Councilman Brescher?
Yes, I guess it would be R006.
Any other, sir? Thank you. Any other resolutions from my colleagues? Hearing none, pulling or separating for a separate vote, R006. Can I get a motion to approve the consent agenda, R001 through R005, and R007 and R008?
Motion to approve consent agenda except R006.
I'm sorry, Council President, can I pull for a separate vote the bank rec? Is it the
Cash management plan?
cash management plan?
Yes, sir. So that would be a revise for the consent agenda, R002 through R005, and R007 and R008.
Motion move to approve the consent agenda except R001 and R006.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Madam Clerk, roll call.
Councilmember Brescher.
Yes.
Councilmember Coyle.
Yes.
Councilmember Harris.
Yes.
Councilmember Patel.
Yes.
Councilmember Patil.
Yes.
Councilmember Ship Freeman.
Yes.
Council President Pointer.
Yes. Just from a numerical order, if that's okay?
Yeah.
R001, cash management plan. Councilman Coyle?
I'm just abstaining.
Any other council comments? Can I get a motion to approve?
Motion to approve R001.
Second.
So, first from Councilman Patil, second by Councilman Patel. Madam Clerk, if I can get a roll call?
Councilmember Brescher.
Yes.
Councilmember Coyle.
Abstain.
Councilmember Patel.
Yes.
Councilmember Patil.
Yes.
Councilmember Ship Freeman.
Yes.
Council President Pointer. Oh, I'm sorry. Councilmember Harris.
Yes.
I apologize. And Council President Pointer.
Yes, so the motion carries.
You know what? The tab's not changed yet.
R006, Councilman Brescher?
Yes, I'd just like the public to understand what goes on at a council meeting and behind closed doors. And I just want to tell my little story. So somewhere around 7 weeks ago, I asked I believe if we watched the tape, I think I asked the administration for a copy of all the legal bills. The attorney, David, said he would get it to me. The following meeting, I asked the new attorney that was filling in, which was Lou. And Lou told me that, yes, I will get you those. So I went to the attorney because they said that they were going to get it. They interrupted the business administrator from getting it to me. Then the next meeting, David came. And David asked me, is everything okay? And I said, no, I still haven't gotten your bills. He asked me what I was looking for. I said, all bills, everything that you're working on. I said, because if you're going to be working on a Suez with the administration, with the council not knowing about it, the council should know about this. So by us reviewing bills, we know what you're working on. I mean, we have a right, a fiduciary responsibility to see and make sure they're spending the money correctly. And he said, no. He said, not a problem. You're absolutely right. You're entitled to this. I'm going to get it to you. I fast forward to the next meeting we have, and Lou was here. And I told him again I needed it, and again I didn't get it. The next meeting, Lou came, and I said, listen, I don't want to approve your bills, but I don't want to make a scene, but here's my problem. I said, I'm a sitting councilman. I have now asked for over 4 meetings. I have not gotten it, and he told me that he would get it from the administration. And I told him that it doesn't matter to me where he gets it. His firm, and I believe David's a partner. Does anybody know is David a partner there? Okay. So one of your partners said he was going to get me this information, and he did not. So I said, it's not really the administration's job if you offered it to me to begin with. So he told me that, he was going to look at it. He appreciated me not bringing it up, and he was going to get it to me. And I said, okay. And we had a following meeting when I asked him about this, and I was told I was going to get it, and he said I would speak to Sonia because he wanted to get it from Sonia. Again, I said, that doesn't matter to me how you get it. I requested it. And, now I sit here and I ask the attorney here when I'm going to get it, and basically what he tells the councilman is I could Oprah it. Well, I'll be honest with you, they're a vendor. My job is to review their bills. If they believe that they are that far above the law or whatever it is, that they don't have to get a councilman anything, what do the public expect to get from him? So again, I'm looking for this. I'm looking from the law firm that told me that they would do it. I didn't think that they were a new law firm. I'm a little taken back that they have yet to get this to me, but I don't have it. And because of that, yes, I don't want to vote on anything authorizing any money with their contract moving forward until I get this. And I will continue this, and this will go for every vendor that I ask for something. I mean, like I said, last year, working with the administration, knowing it was new, we gave them a pass, or I gave them a pass on a lot of issues. But they have to actually step up the game this year. So that's my reason for asking for this to be pulled. And I think the public needed to know that this isn't something where I just asked and I'm being unreasonable, all right? I mean, 6 meetings is how many months, right? So for months I've asked. I would have been better to have put an Oprah request in. But how embarrassing would it be for the administration and their vendors that a councilman has to actually put in an Oprah request? So entirely disappointed with our legal team at this point. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Brescher. Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, do I have a motion to approve
Motion to approve.
R006? Is there a second?
Second.
Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Councilmember Brescher.
No.
Councilmember Coyle.
Yes.
Councilmember Harris.
Yes.
Councilmember Patel.
Yes.
Councilmember Patil.
Yes.
Councilmember Ship Freeman.
Yes.
Council President Pointer.
Yes. At this time, I'd like to open up to the public for oral petitions and remarks. We have one on the list, Mr. Bassoff. Have to go by the list first.
Thank you, Mr. President, and congratulations on your election. We're looking forward to great things. First, I'd like to offer some thank yous. First to one of the unsung heroes of the council, Marlena McCrae, who is a timekeeper of fairness and impartiality. When I'm speaking, it seems like she speeds up the clock. To everyone else, I'm sure it seems like she's slowing down the clock, but I'm sure it's absolutely fair. And with that, you can start the clock. Also, thank you to our clerk, Cheryl Rusomano, for so diligently handling a lot of requests that come through the office, many of which must seem bizarre and which they've never seen before, but they handle it with great expertise. Now, this being the beginning of a new year, it's time for New Year's resolutions, so I'd like to suggest a few resolutions that the council should approve. The council, before the new year gets too old, should approve a resolution to establish a municipal public advocate. When there's inappropriate development, a developer is trying to maximize the value of his or her own property, but it's often at the expense of the value of neighboring properties. It's time to level the playing field. It's time for the township to protect the property values of the people that live here. Establishing an office of a public advocate would go far to making sure that it's not just developers that maximize their property's value, but that everyone can maintain their property values. Along with that, the council should pass a resolution providing the zoning board with the resources to hire its own independent experts. The developers' experts that they hear from are, not surprisingly, sometimes biased, and the zoning board, to make a proper decision and to establish an adequate record, has to have the testimony of impartial experts on the transcript. The council should pass a resolution rezoning the Charlie Brown site for low-density, single-family detached houses. Everyone, including the current owner of the property, recognizes that golf course zoning is inappropriate for that site. The council doesn't have to wait for the court appeal to be resolved or for the new master plan to be approved. That can be done to achieve proper zoning for the property. The council should pass a resolution endorsing keeping the Clara Barton branch of the library where it is. That's what the people want. And now a few suggestions. I'd ask that the minutes on the website be posted shortly after they're approved by the council. It would be very helpful to the public to be able to have access to that on the website, because in so many respects, the website is helpful. So there are just a few gaps that have to be corrected. I'd also ask that the water fountain on the floor be in working order. You can get thirsty up here. Maybe the vendor of the soda machine has a sweetheart deal. I don't know, something for the council to explore at a later time. Also, at the last council meeting, I ran into someone who came late, and the illuminated directory on the ground floor had already been turned off, and because she was a first-time visitor, she had trouble finding the council chambers. So I don't know if that's intentional, but it would be helpful to the public if, no matter how late they show up, if they can find where we are. A few more thank yous. I'd like to thank Councilman Coyle for handling a very tough job. He was in the middle of everything between the administration, the council, and the residents, and I know that he tried to be diligent and selfless in fulfilling his duties. And Councilwoman Ship Freeman, as vice president, was always up there showing that she cared about the people, and she shows up to things to be there for the people, and that's appreciated. And one last thing that it came up at this meeting, I'm just very surprised as a member of the public that a member of the council would be expected to file an open public records request to get information. I understand that the members of the public have to go through that, but it would seem to me that as our elected representatives, the members of the council should be able to get the information, whatever they ask for and whenever they ask for it. So I congratulate our new officers. I thank everyone who has served so diligently. I know you put a lot of your own time and effort into this, and we do appreciate it, even when we disagree. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. To the public, Mr. Sweeney?
Council President,
Yes, sir.
with the new council president, can you explain how we're going to handle public comment? Because that's changed with different council presidents, right? Sometimes the residents come up and they speak, and then we answer their questions, and then other times they all come up and they speak, and then we answer their questions, and then sometimes certain people come up, we answer theirs, but not others. But it's a question.
My intent is to allow the public to ask their questions, provide a response right after their questions, however, advising that 6 minutes is 6 minutes. So if we have to spend time relaying that information or getting additional information, that would cut into the time. However, it is my intent to try to answer questions as best as possible at the time that they are asked.
And the rebuttal?
The rebuttal would still be in play.
Still?
It just
Okay.
has to be a rebuttal.
Yes, just a question.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Sweeney?
Yeah, through the chair, I would like to wish everybody a healthy and happy New Year. Thanks for listening to me for over. Thanks for listening to me for over 30 years here. But through the chair to the attorney.
Yes, sir.
Are you telling me that a council person has to Oprah something? Because that's the way I interpret it, the way you said it.
It's up to you, Council President.
If you would like to respond, I'll give you the opportunity.
Sure. Unfortunately, I wasn't aware of the previous commitment that my law partners had made to provide those documents. I will convey the message to them that the request was made, that they agreed to provide it. But the standard answer when anyone is requesting legal bills is to provide a paper trail for that request, and then all of the people know that what was asked for and what was responded to. And that was my response, sir.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I finally get an answer, an attorney. I was surprised when I did see Mr. Renone up there during, I remember him from the Mayor Spadoro days, But if Carl Kovacs is listening, God bless you, my man. He's the guy that wound up bringing me to council meetings. I'm sure Assemblyman he's gone. Assemblyman Karabenchek remembers that gentleman. As far as Esther Nemitz too, is she okay?
Bad vision.
Yeah, I don't see her at these meetings, because if I'm not here, in person watching you guys live instead of the Kardashians, I'm home watching you on TV. But I have to say, Edison is a great town, Mayor Joshi's getting a lot of things done. I think he's moving too fast. He's scaring me a little bit because I don't want to see my taxes go up, but he's moving too fast. So Mayor Joshi, slow down a little bit. Downshift that Mustang. But I appreciate Councilman's precious questions all the time. Me and him had a lot of to-dos here, a lot of to-dos. We ask tough questions. And, it seems, I'm watching body language. I read body language a lot. I have 9 brothers and sisters. You learn to read body language, And, he asks us the tough questions. He asked for police, about the police, and then I don't know the lady and the gentleman's name, but man, they were on him like flies on rice, But Edison is a great town. What they do for the youth in this town, what they do for the seniors in this town, and another question I have is the senior center open yet?
My understanding is that it was intended to be open by the end of the month.
I don't understand how it's taken so long. I really don't. I don't know if it's because of contracts. I work for a developer. I know how buildings go up, and I mean, a sprinkler system, it's down this long that these seniors can't communicate, and they sit home alone, nobody to talk to. Being that I'm a senior, I'm starting to feel it, but the thing is, I can't understand what is the reasoning for so long. I think we got to fix this mic. It's not my throat.
Move back a little bit.
Then I have to yell and scream.
No, that's good.
No, you just don't be so on top of it.
Oh, all right. No answers?
Oh,
Why is that thing down so long?
so at the last meeting, we authorized 2 change orders, which would allow for the completion of the project.
Be careful of those change orders.
I
They're the
am-
ones that get you. I know, I
understand.
work for a developer. Them change orders get you. That should be stipulated in the contract, not after the contract, But anyway, I want to wish everybody well, and, you guys will be seeing me. But, painting the building, thank you, Councilman Coyle. I think you did a great job as a president.
Thank you.
You controlled a certain individual, which I'd like to see thrown out more often. I'm not going to mention any names because I might be liable with,
I don't think a council member should be thrown off the dais.
I didn't hear it.
I'm sorry, I understand your question. Thank you.
Yeah, but, I appreciate everybody that's on this council. I mean, for the dollar amount you get and the time you put in, because a lot of people don't understand the meetings and, you get a couple free dinners here and there, yeah, but you guys put a lot in. I wouldn't do it for the money, I'll be honest with you. As much as I love this town, I could probably get elected. I know a lot of people in this town. A lot of people in this town, believe it or not. Right, Joyce?
Yes, you do.
But everybody have a good year, healthy year.
Happy New Year.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Patel?
Right. Happy New Year, everyone. Is that good? So, Councilman Coyle, thank you for being the council president serving in year 22. Councilwoman Shiv Freeman, thank you for doing that in year 22. Congratulations, Councilman Pointer being council president and Councilwoman Harris being elected council vice president. And this is my 6th council reorg meeting attending since Councilman Patil became council president in 2018. It was Councilman Gomez and then Councilwoman Shiv Freeman before in 2020. Then there was Councilman Deal on the Zoom. That was a Zoom meeting. then last year Councilman Coyle, and this time yourself, Councilman Pointer. So I love the reorg meetings and like to see the new leaders take office. Thank you. So it's good. So congratulations again, everyone, and looking forward to see great things in the township in this year. I have a few questions. One of them is follow up to what you said, Council President Pointer. You said you would like to have people get involved more in the township and stuff. So is there any avenue where people can be part of different, sign up somewhere, or how do they really get involved? If there's more information to that, that would be helpful. So, because a lot of people often check that, how do I get involved? They would like to get involved. And what is the official medium for them to get involved in participate, other than coming to council meetings where a lot of times the time may not work for residents. Then often the residents ask about different issues, especially a lot of times it's with the Department of Public Works or any other issues. And many times, I've, after they open the CSR and then things don't get done. So oftentimes I personally have in the past reached out a lot of times to Councilman Patil, and he has taken care of things. Oftentimes I reach out to Councilman Brescher, Council President, Councilman Coyle, and Councilwoman Schiff Freeman, and they have directed the request to the right departments and taken care of things. So what is a way for residents to follow up so that it gets taken care of? Is there a particular phone number or somewhere on the website that they follow up? Any easier process? If not, if they can implement the residents, because they reach out to random normal people. If they have councilman's number, they reach out to them, and then everyone is looking for requests. So if there is an easier way that can be implemented, that would be very helpful. Maybe I am not up to the speed on this, but I read a lot and heard a lot about Optimum, the internet, and all the issues and everything. So where do we stand with the Optimum service? What's going on with the latest? And what's the plan? Anything going to happen this year to make things better in terms of that? And the last thing I have is a lot of people speaking to in connection with they want to get involved. They see all this, they go to the website and see all the list of all the boards getting updated, right? And thank you, Mrs. Somara, for getting it up to date and putting the latest information out there. But still, people see a lot of vacancy out there, and some people apply, and some people hear back, some don't hear back. So, what is the plan this council has to make sure like all the seats in all those boards are filled up? For example, Human Relations Commission, and there are many other seats. If they can be filled up, some residents can, some applications can go through, some residents can be part of it, and they can get it advantage. That way, I believe that they will be more involved in the matters, and they'll be happy, and people will be more aware of what's happening. Right? Thank you so much for that.
Thank you. If I can just address a couple of the items. For myself, in regards to community involvement, I would like to see the council initiate more subcommittees. Last year, I put together for the Smart City Advisory Committee with the intent of trying to get more public input and feedback and utilization, because we all know that the residents of the township have much to offer. So it's definitely a goal of mine to formulate those committees where appropriate so that we can utilize those resources and bring more involvement to the township. As far as if you're talking about like recreational opportunities and such like that, definitely having more advertisement of the programs that the township does offer would be of great assistance, I believe. In regards to the CSR and the follow-ups, my understanding is that we are implementing SDL, which should be coming in soon, which should hopefully address some of the concerns that you brought up in regards to the follow-ups. And in regards to the cable study, my understanding is that we are going to be provided that study in the near future. I can ask the administration, though, to get a more specified date. Councilman Brescher?
Yes, Council President. As far as when you were talking about complaints that come in, we had a system here in the township that very few people took notice of or used. And the township itself didn't do a follow-up to the complaints that were put in. Sometimes the complaints were taken care of, I looked at it, I guess, like 2 years ago, and probably 90% of the complaints were taken care of, but the residents never got a response back. So over the course of this last year, the administration was rolling out a new thing. Do we know where we are with that one yet, Sonia?
We're rolling it out this month with the spatial data logic.
It was, yes, I forgot
Yes.
what it was called.
But if I may, if there are complaints, I would direct residents to the business administrator's office, to my office, and I can guide them exactly where they need to go as far as departments or sub-departments.
Thank you. And as far as Optimum, you know, I'm in contact with them quite often. Somehow, I believe, because Councilman Coyle, when he was president, didn't like me, he put me on the cable committee. But on that committee, we've had meetings with Optimum, and it's come that their complaints are handled, I'm going to say within 7 days, they handle 98% of all the complaints that go through. And I know it's hard when you're struggling trying to work on the internet or you're trying to watch TV and it keeps on going out and it takes a week. I get it, right? But there are other options already here, available here in Edison. And I've said it numerous times. You can do T-Mobile with the 5G that seems to work fine. I know people that are in IT that use that. I have asked the administration for a copy of the survey that went out. They told me it was an immense amount of data, and they were going to get it to us. That was, I don't know when that was, but we should have the data shortly, I would think, or we shouldn't pay whoever did the survey, Sonia, one or the other. So I would say that by the end of this month, we should have that. But that was only a survey, right, initially. That was just to get feedback from the public. I don't know that we needed that. I think we understand what the public likes and what their issues are. The other was, I believe we approved something for like a cost, how we'd roll this out or how we would do that, right? Did we put that one up?
Not in regards, you're talking about the feasibility study?
Feasibility,
I
okay.
think that needed to be reviewed first before seeing what they had advised on recommendations, if it's suitable for the township, and if so, then how the logistics of that would work.
So we haven't moved forward with the feasibility study.
The feasibility study was authorized early last year, I believe
That's what I
around
thought.
February, but past the feasibility study, nothing to my understanding.
Do you know where we are with that, Sonia? I'm waiting for that survey. But the feasibility study, we'd also like to have.
Any other questions or comments?
Oh, no, I think everything else was covered. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Diamond, and if I may ask, name and address, rookie mistake in the first couple of speakers.
Bruce Diamond, 74 Calvert. Congratulations, Margot, John. Sure you guys will do a great job, and it's going to be an exciting year. Without taking Councilman Fresher's side, I am at a loss for the attorney telling a councilman he needs to Oprah a bill. I could understand personnel files he shouldn't see, but I don't understand how any council person up there doesn't have a right to see what's going on behind the curtain. Is that the way the Faulkner Act works, or that's the way the administration works, or that's the way you've chosen to interpret things?
Would you like to?
If you want me to respond, I've already responded, sir.
Right, and I'm at a loss to understand your explanation why, whether he's right or wrong, and whatever his agenda is a separate issue, because it could just as easily be Joyce, who's asked for a question, is not getting it. And again, in my mind, as long as it's not an HR issue, that's information they need to do their jobs.
If I could just say, because he wasn't here at the previous meetings when those requests were made, I
No,
understand.
he offered that
I
the
understand.
counselor should Oprah it. I should Oprah it if I want to, but I don't think he should Oprah it.
I think and I don't want to misspeak or put words in your mouth, I think the intent of that statement was more as a fail-safe, as a last regard, so to say.
Sure. And if my law partners have already agreed to provide that document for them, what I said was that I would respond to them as to what happened this evening. If they've made a commitment to provide those documents, I will ensure that those documents are provided. I
and I
don't know how much
appreciate that.
clearer I could be, sir.
I thought you were rather curt in your comment for him to Oprah it, and that's what I'm challenging. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Conway?
Council President?
Yes, sir.
I think the confusion is in your delivery, in the attorney's delivery, where it was basically, if I'm asking for something, I could always Oprah it. I think he forgot that he's a vendor. I approve him, I approve his bills, and therefore he is held accountable to me as a councilman. He might have forgotten that over the years because he just works with administrations that just, run stuff through. I don't know. But that's where I think the disconnect is I believe all attorneys that work for any council without an Oprah request should give it, whether a partner said he was giving it or not. His statement was that because the partner said. I disagree with that statement. I believe they're required to give me those documents. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Conway? Oh, name and address, please. Sorry.
Elizabeth Conway, 20 Netherwood Circle. I just wanted to give a suggestion. There are a number of hot topics regarding the township: master plan, roads, the senior citizen center. And each month, somebody comes and questions it and complains that it's taking too long. My suggestion to someone would be to give a monthly update as to what's going on. And then this way, not only the people in the room, but the people watching TV can also see, okay, they're working on it, they're up to this. Whereas when you don't and you wait for somebody to have to ask, it gives a little attitude on our part that, what are they sitting on? Get moving. Whereas if you give us an update each month as to what's going on and we're getting closer, there are people in the town that want to know what's going on. So if that's a suggestion that could be made. My next, especially the master plan, because that is something that really needs to be done. I did go to a meeting for it, and I haven't heard a word since. So they can just tell us what they're up to, and that would be satisfactory, but I haven't heard a word since the 2 meetings that I did attend. The next item is, hopefully all of you get a copy of Robert's Rules. And Mr. Brescher, you should know Robert's Rules. And your question during the vote was not at the right time. You had the right to ask, but it wasn't done at the right time. And I do, Mr. Poyner, I was glad that you put forth that it wasn't done at the right time. You had the right to ask, it just wasn't at the right time. And also during public comments, it's exactly what it is, public comments. It's not your turn. You get your turn when it's your turn, unless you're specifically asked to give an answer to the public. So you really need to hold fast as to when it's your turn and when it's not your turn. Is my time up already? Oh, okay. And another question I have, there used to be department heads here, so that if we had a question, we didn't have to play the telephone game, oh, let me go ask this one and somebody will get back to you. If someone's here, they can give a better answer in a more opportune time, or it's face-to-face, I will get back to you tomorrow. I do email you guys. I take turns asking you. I'm actually awaiting the spring to see if Inman Avenue is going to be mowed. I'm still hoping that something was done to look at the trees in town to see what's happening with that. So if we had some department heads, I would truly appreciate that. And my final statement is the council approves bills correctly. Every bill that's given to be paid, does the council have to approve it? She's saying yes, and you're saying no. Council President, how about you answer?
My understanding is that all of those are through the disbursements, which we get reports outside of today's meeting for every meeting.
So then, for that matter, administration should be able to show you, Mr. Brescia, each and every bill, and you should be able to question it right at the time of when it's billed. When I was on the Board of Ed, I looked at each and every bill, and I questioned anything that I had for that. And if there was a question about a bill now, I could turn around and say, okay, 3 months ago, they gave a bill for this. Why am I seeing this bill now? So you have every right, and no offense, I thought that was insulting for you to tell, I don't usually agree with him, but to tell him that he has to Oprah was the wrong answer. I think it should have been, your administration has all the bills. If they don't get it to you, I'll look into it, just like everybody else was. But ultimately, the business administrator should have all the bills with an explanation. Thank you.
Would you like any comment on your questions, or I can
Yes.
certainly wait until after the meeting if you would like to discuss?
No, I'd like your opinion on if anything of what I said.
Sure. In regards to the master plan updates, I would ask Councilwoman Ship Freeman, as she is the council liaison, I believe, to the master plan committee. In regards to follow-ups, yes, project management, which also includes residents' issues and inquiries, definitely needs to be something that we have better control of. I know myself and Councilman Patel have put together kind of a whiteboard, Trello type thing to make sure that we follow up and have timelines for those items. In regards to the ash trees, one of the items that was in the backup documents maybe 2 meetings ago was on the items that the engineering department was working on, which the tree aspect was a part of that, but it's nothing that has been approved as of yet. Yes, in regards to the follow-up with Inman Avenue, and I'll speak with the administration in regards to the department heads.
Council President,
Yes, Councilwoman Ship Freeman.
if you look in the paper, you'll see, I have a byline in there. We have the information in the paper about the senior citizens. Normally, I speak, as I meet with them, and I ask continuously, when are we going to move forward with the senior citizen building? Because I know it's really bad now, because sometimes, depression sets in and stuff, and people really want to come out and they really want to get together. And so what we're doing is we have to wait, because I don't know, I guess that guy knows about construction and stuff in the back, the Sweeney guy. So he's talking about change orders and stuff. So I don't know too much about that. So I'm not going to speak on change orders. But I just know that we're trying our best to get, to the finish line. So hopefully, I told him, I said, we're going to have like whistles, balloons, the whole thing when we open up for all the seniors. It should be like a grand opening, since they waited so patiently for the things that we need to move forward with. And you had a question on the master plan?
An update.
An update on the master plan. We've finished the interviews with majority of the community, and a lot of input was put in. Some inputs were put in about people wanting sidewalks, they want bike paths, and there's little things that they want that we basic things that we need before we can go into gigantic things for the master plan. But we hopefully have that finished, because once you have the master plan finished, then you don't run into zoning problems. Then, then we command, we're the one who says, like, that can't be there now once we have it all set up. But they're working diligently on it, and they've compiled all the information that we've gotten from all the neighborhood throughout Edison. So we should be, maybe next month, we'll give you like another little report on it.
Very good.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you.
Council
Thank you.
President, Ms.
Yes,
Conway also.
Councilwoman Harris. Vice President. error.
Joyce was vice president last year, and I noticed whenever you called on her,
Miss-
it was just councilperson. Could we make it right this year?
Council
Or-
President, do
Yes,
you
I-
have control of this meeting, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay. To Ms. Conway's.
I'm sorry.
To Ms. Conway's question about a monthly update to hot topics, is that something maybe we can discuss as to how that might be?
Absolutely.
That might be accomplished? Okay, thank you.
Absolutely.
Council President,
Yes, Councilman Patel.
I also wanted to use this time to update on the master plan bike paths. We have a bike path that was built by the engineering department. They gave it to me as a draft. Walt Stoschel and I are reviewing it. We're going to meet tomorrow for the Open Space Committee. We're going to go through it more thoroughly to figure out if we can add more, if there needs to be more paths where, like, one of the ones they missed is the near Middlesex, the new fields that they're building. There's a college drive and there's an apartment complex there, and people have no way to bike to those parks. So that's one of the things that we're going to add. And we're going through it more thoroughly, and hopefully we'll have a more thorough plan to put into the master plan. And this is important because if they did this 30 years ago, we wouldn't be doing it now, and we would have already had some bike paths. So we're going to make sure we put the right bike path plan into the master plan when the master plan does get passed. Thank you.
Oh, and Council President, from
Yes,
what,
Councilwoman.
from what we said, Grove Avenue is one of them, are going to be one of the examples that they used for the bike path. Since you live by Inman, starting out from Inman, going up toward the school will be one of the bike paths that we talked about last night.
Thank you.
President,
Yes, Councilman Brusher.
I would just like to see if Ms. Conway would like to take a look at our bill list. Since you served on the Board of Education, and I served with you, and I seen the bill list that we received, I would like to throw a little challenge at you, just for you to look at it and not smile. And the reason why I said it is because I'm very aware of the bill list that we received at the Board of Ed. And I'm very aware of the bill list that we get here on the township side. You know, one had 9,000 items, the other has like one item. So yes, your experience is a little different than here. And as far as myself with Robert's Rules, I have been an offender of the English language spelling at times and of Robert's Rules. And I hate to say, but at my age, I'm not sure that I'm going to get much better. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you. Any other members from the public that would like to speak? Can I get a motion to close the public portion?
Motion to close the public portion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Before motion to adjourn, I would like to reciprocate some of the statements earlier in regards to expressing my thanks to Councilman Coyle for your service as our president, and to Councilwoman Ship Freeman for your service as our vice president last year, as well as for your service as our council president in 2020. With that, can I get a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
This meeting stands adjourned. Have a good night.